Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. And we're trying it once more. If this video gets 2,000 likes within 24 hours, we are giving away 500 XRP. All that you have to do to enter is make sure you press the like button, are subscribed, and of course, you have to comment down below what your favorite cryptocurrency is. That comment is your entry ticket, so make sure you do that. And now today, I want to talk partially about the system, which I think is flawed, partially about the inflation, partially about banks, and let's actually start it off here with this article. A massive Bitcoin bull run awaits as Fed confirms 2% inflation target. A high inflation environment is creating more upside opportunities for Bitcoin as the cryptocurrency trades near its 11-month high. Recent statements from the Fed's officials confirm they are targeting a 2% inflation by pledging not to raise interest rates in the medium term. The dovish outlook has helped Bitcoin to rise to close to 200% from its mid-March nadir, or whatever you say right there. Now, I'm going to say here that I think this statement here is actually not that good, not that bad for crypto. And here they're saying the real Bitcoin bulls are staying. Moving forward, a very dovish factors that helped to push Bitcoin higher earlier this year is expected to extend their stay. A CNBC report published Wednesday highlighted the Fed's need to tolerate its inflation target of 2% in the coming years, and with some analysts pointing to levels even beyond the threshold. The forward guidance could hit the cable by as soon as September. It could take cues from the Fed's Chairman Jerome Powell's last week's statement. He noted that the committee would enforce its current policy framework for as much as a year. Now, earlier we were discussing really about all these rates, right? We very often talk about inflation and really the rate you see right here, a couple other rates we've been talking about, and kind of comparing what would the consequence be for crypto. With this inflation rate, though, all I can say about it is I didn't expect them to get it. All right, I actually expected them to not be able to go for 2%, but they would actually fall out higher. And them claiming to go for 2% is actually really, really positive to a certain degree at this point for them, now for crypto. However, if they go for 2% and they can't get to it, that would be a very big Bitcoin bull, and actually crypto for all of that matter. Because as we said before, the banking system has a pretty rough time right now, right? I think we all have noticed already that it's a pretty rough time for banks. Biggest U.S. banks have more than $150 billion of deferred loans. Deferred debt banks had at least 151.5 billion in modified loans at mid-year. Balance of loans enrolled in deferral programs. All this might be interesting, right? Might look very, very nice to you, might look cool or all of that. However, guys, this is all going on, yet banks are liquid. Banks can't pay stuff. Banks have problems. You know how much money that would cost if a bank certainly were to really just mess up? Because the four largest U.S. banks had at least 151 billion of loans with payments in deferral at mid-year, as borrowers from small businesses to homeowners saw debt relief amid the CV pandemic. You guys get the situation surrounding this, guys. You know how much money goes around here in all of this? If the banks were to go away, you know how much... There was a mosquito on me. What the frick? Okay, that was interesting. You know how much the banking system would change then, guys? You know how much that would change our lives, really? And whenever I'm talking about that, I always like to talk about the rate that we see at the bottom here as well. It's the rate we often like to discuss here, the interest rate, because that is really what these banks are going to be based upon. I mean, looking at inflation, well, that's just a consequence of it all, and they're going to try to keep it at a certain degree, most likely at 2%, which is really what they always go for. that's the normal. However, in this case, the question is whether or not they can make it. The other rate, though, the interest rate, is something that is really at one of the lowest points in a very, very long time. And why I'm saying that is because they always target for 0.25. Right now, there are some ideas and some thoughts that we're going to go to 0, right? Or really, really close to 0 or anything like that. And by the way, there is a fly looking at me right now. Maybe it was not a mosquito, but a fly. And they're very freaking annoying to beat when you're recording. So I don't know what. I can maybe slap him on the monitor. I slapped him in the face with my. Sorry, guys. I'm getting distracted. Let's go on with the video. So I'm just gonna say here, guys, that this rate is very, very important. We gotta watch it with a very close eye because it would have a very, very positive effect on XRP if it were to go to zero. If it were to go beneath zero, it will be even more positive. However, I see that chance is happening pretty lightly, as right now in the UK they're trying their best to lower it. However, of course, everybody would want to not get it as low where it's below zero, because as I've explained before in my videos, getting it below zero is very, very hard to get back from. It would most likely just result in negative things all around. You know, it's just very, very bad to get it below zero, and it has to do with a lot of yields around the world and all of that. Now, even though we might be thinking that banks are doing really, really, I guess, bad right now, or that banks are having some problems, top analyst Mike Mayo says Warren Buffett will be proven right, with bank stocks set to rally 50%. So amongst this whole crisis, banks took on the worst, right? And we've also seen how important banks are for our whole world. I mean, they have so much in loans going on right now. People are investing because of banks, right? Because of the way that it all works. And banks are really important for our society. However, banks took a major hit. Banks got also supported really hard, but also banks are expected to recover like crazy. And of course, we know the connection between Ripple, Warren Buffett, and Bank of America because he bought a ton. Wells Fargo's Mike Mayo told CNBC on Wednesday he sees strong upside for bank stocks in the next 2 years. For that reason, the top analyst said Warren Buffett is right on track with his buying spree of Bank of America's shares. To quote, "We think that bank stocks have the potential to increase 50% over the next 18 to 24 months, he said on the exchange. Which is really interesting if you think about it, guys, because going up that much in this short amount of time would be beneficial for XRP to the max. Because think about it, right? Banks going away, why would that be positive? Because people want to change money, transfer money, and have to do all these types of things that have to do with money. But the transparency that they had, the little bits of having a kind of central authority which tells you what the situation is gone, because banks will be gone. So you would have to rely on Ripple for your payments to be, kind of secure, done fast, done, I guess transparent, and all of that, right? However, if what they're saying here, if this top analyst Mike Mayo is right and banks were to rally, you know how profitable that would be for XRP and for Ripple? First of all, banks would get tons of money, all right? Banks would most likely have a lot more money in their system. A lot of more people are most likely going to be going back into banks instead of being afraid of the US dollar and all of that like they are right now. They would get more into it, meaning more money for the banks to loan out, which means more money and value for the bank as well, which is kind of a little bit of a snowball that goes on. But also, these banks have more to, I guess, risk right now. They have more room to go for things like, for example, a Ripple partnership, and to really expand on their crypto and all of that. And they also have more reason to innovate because they're already doing so good. It's not like they have to recover or get back to the medium. No, they want to innovate, of course, to become on top of their competitors. And especially if some of the banks are doing good and some of them are doing bad, the ones that are doing really, really good are gonna want to innovate even a little bit more. And maybe those are the ones that are gonna be inking a cool partnership with XRP or Ripple. XRP prices jeopardized as Ripple continues to flood the market. I think this is a very clickbaity title. I actually don't think it's the truth. I don't think it's being jeopardized by Ripple or Jet McCallop or anybody really flooding the market. The only thing we should be afraid of is, of course, guys, the only thing we should be afraid of is big bears / whales, and of course the tax man. Those two things are always scary because they mess with your money. However, at this point, a Jet McCallop or a Ripple selling, it ain't going to change nothing. As I told you guys before, I've explained to you guys very, very often why I don't think it's at all bad that they're selling it. And recently I saw that they're also buying. And also, Ripple and XRP are going up in searches and in just really everything a lot right now. I mean, Ripple's being sought after so much. People are talking about it all the time because banks are getting more popular. And where banks get more popular, people also start to look up with Ripple because, well, Ripple's connected to a lot of these banks. Again, don't forget the connection between Bank of America. 2 reasons crypto's bull market is coming. Now, actually one easy reason to give y'all just right now, really, really simply, it's because there's just more and more people who are afraid of the system falling. And again, that can be seen both sides, right? Because there's a lot of people who are like, well, the system's going to be recovering. However, there's, of course, also a lot of people who are like, well, no, the system's going to be falling. And since people are afraid of the system falling, like Brett Garlinghouse has also said before, By the way, there's just this. I'm guys, when I'm recording, I'm gonna just have a whole freaking hunting session trying to hunt this fly down, because this is the most annoying thing in the world when you're recording and there's something just flying, buzzing through your screen. Because if you guys didn't know, these are all one recording, but there's just a big monitor in front of me right now, right? So the fly just zooms by here. I hope you guys can't hear it. It's very, very distracting when you're trying to read text and think of stories. So to hopefully get back to what I want to say here, people are getting more and more afraid of the system that we're in right now. People are more and more so expecting hyperinflation. People are more and more so losing their faith in the central authority, which is one of the foundations of money. If there's no central authority like the Federal Reserve or the government, money would not be working and the US dollar would become valueless/worthless. Since people are afraid of all of that, people are also getting more interested in XRP and really into Ripple and definitely into crypto as well. Since, gold is also going up, not for nothing, right? Not for no reason. Some are saying that DeFi has something to do with that. I'm not going to say it does. I think it's a very difficult one to kind of grasp, since, DeFi is not necessarily here I'm trying to punch while I'm recording. DeFi is not necessarily here one of the factors that plays a role. I'm just going to say here, guys. And then German banks push back as American investors seek more influence. A drive-by buyout firm, Cerberus, to force cost betting at Commerzbank has run into resistance from Berlin. A few weeks ago, the American private equity firm Cerberus Capital Management seemed to be on the cusp of provoking a major shakeup in German banking after it pressured the two top executives of the country's second largest lender to quit. Now, once more, like I've been telling you guys here, this system is not holding up as well, right? And here's a whole bigger article here just of people going back and forward in the banking system, because there's a lot of friction right now, right? There's a lot of uncertainty. There's not that much trust in each other. And that's also why I've explained that CBDCs, by the way, they will work intra-country. Inside one country, they would work. Having CBDCs work for multiple countries at one time, one CBDC for multiple countries, ain't gonna work. Having one CBDC in America work for all countries ain't gonna work either, and that's another reason why XRP is gonna be needed, because it's gotta be kind of the butter between those two pieces of bread, right? There's CBDCs in different countries, there still needs to be a way to link them up, and that's what's gonna be XRP. But guys, thank you all for watching this video. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. I'm still a very much big XRP bull. Take care and have a very, very nice day. I'm gonna kill this mother fricker.